Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Luz Sanchez, and my topic that I chose for this project presentation is COVID 19 and why chemistry matters. The reason why I picked this topic was because I know that chemistry is involved in everything in our lives, chemistry is life, and COVID is a recent topic that really changed everybody's lives, and it was interesting to find out more about it and how it influenced our life and just go deeper in depth about the virus itself. So, a lot of people during the pandemic, people living with problems like cancer, heart disease, chronic respiratory diseases, diabetes, and other NCDs experienced a hard time accessing their routine medicines, and a lot even struggled with side effects and dealing with COVID, because this virus did affect people differently. So let's start off with what is chemistry. Chemistry is the study of matter, the science that deals with the study of properties and behavior of matter. And COVID 19, which we just talked about, is an infectious disease that is caused by the, I believe you say SARS-CoV-2 virus. People who are infected with the virus experience symptoms such as sudden chills, fever, cough, shortness of breath, loss of taste or smell, and a variety of other symptoms. Like I did mention earlier, people facing chronic diseases did face different side effects, and some people were affected more than others. The pandemic obviously led to millions of people dying, and a lot of people are still facing the negative outcomes that come after the virus because symptoms don't go away right away. So, to start off, how COVID 19 connects to chemistry. Explaining a little bit more about the virus, it's an airborne and primarily spread between people through close contact. So you can pass it when talking, breathing, inhaling, coughing, sneezing, just like sharing fluids with somebody, being close to them. It's it's how you spread it, and once it enters the human cells by binding to an angiotensin converting enzymes, which is a membrane protein that regulates the angiogenin system. And I wanted to explain a little bit more what it was. So it basically controls our blood pressure and regulates the volume and fluid in our bodies. So it helps keep the body, working. And it converts hormone and angiotensin 1 to active 2. Um, like I mentioned, it's a hormone that narrows blood vessels and triggering water and sodium intake. We did learn in class sodium is a chemical element, and the human body needs sodium in order to maintain our normal health, which is like normal muscle and nerve function. So it's really important. Some phrases that we often hear or heard during COVID, we still do, are like wash your hands, practice social distancing, wear a mask. One that we would always hear, especially in school, was wash your hands. And this is what takes me more in depth of the chemistry involved in COVID. I wanted to go a little bit into detail in soap and what it contains. So soap molecules disrupt the fatty layer or coat surrounding the virus. Here I basically explained stuff that you can use in order to get rid of the virus. Bleach is a very important one because it helps clean, and it gets rid of the virus because the virus can't stay alive in surface areas for too long. So Bleach is an oxidizing agent in which attacks the proteins. It's a sodium hypochlorite solution at 2 to 10%. So this spectrum is used for disinfection of viruses, bacteria, fungi, which are all pathogens. If you guys don't know, pathogens, bacteria are bacteria that causes diseases. This can be transmitted to another person from a person that is already infected with an ingestion. It could either be food, you could pass it by coughing, drinking. It's really easy to pass. So like a contaminated person, if you're near them, you're most likely you're gonna get it if you don't look out for that. Many bacterial or fungal pathogens can survive on their own without a host cell to infect, but viruses can't. Instead, they have to get inside cells in order to replicate, where they use the cell's own biochemical machinery to build new virus particles and spread to other cells or individuals, which is how the virus was spread. So one thing I'm going to get into is the spike protein, which is found in COVID. And another word for it is glycoprotein. And then here is just like a picture I wanted to add where it just shows what it contains, the protein, and yeah. And then basically the spikes allow us to determine whether or not we are infected with COVID. Like mentioned earlier, a human cellular life that it has against invaders such as spikes is that it has an outer fatty layer. That layer is able to hold all of the proteins, enzymes, and DNA that make up the human cell. Because of the biochemical nature of fats, this, like I said earlier, makes the outer surface negatively charged, which makes it repellent, and viruses must get through this barrier in order to reach the cell and attack. Here I just went a little bit more into detail how the spike protein is composed of a linear chain of 1,273 amino acids that are folded into a structure. Then it is studded up with up to 23 sugar molecules, and the spike molecules, they like to stick together, and then 3 of them separate. Spike molecules, they bind to each other to form a functional chimeric unit. And yeah, basically for my presentation, I just wanted to go deeper in depth about the spike protein, and also elements like sodium, just to go deeper in depth of like what's in them and how they help fight the virus. And yeah, that was my presentation. Thank you.